Hello and welcome to Spokane County Spotlight. I'm Commissioner Al French, and my guest today is Chris Grover, Mayor for the City of Cheney. Chris, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Al.
So today starts the first of a series of 3 programs where we're going to feature the cities located on the West Plains. So today we have the pleasure of filming on location in the City of Cheney at Eastern Washington University's Roos Field. Our focus today is about the City of Cheney. So I'm excited to have Mayor Grover here to visit with us. Before we get started, Chris, for the benefit of our audience, why don't you share a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Al. First and foremost, I'm a father, a husband, and a grandfather. My wife Jamie and I have 5 adult children and 3 grandchildren. The Air Force brought us, the Grover family, to Cheney back in 1980. And I did all my teenage growing up here in Cheney, graduated from Cheney High. Immediately went off into the Navy. While I was traveling the world, I was able to earn a bachelor's degree in psychology and an MBA. In 2008, after 23 years, I returned home to Cheney and started a new career as a financial advisor with Edward Jones. And I'm very fortunate to run the Edward Jones office right here in Cheney. When I got back home, I knew I wasn't leaving Cheney, so I decided I needed to serve Cheney in some capacity. So I served 5 years on the Planning Commission, 1 term as City Council, and was elected as mayor in 2017. I enjoy Eastern sports teams, go Eags. Love spending time with my family and friends. Like to golf when I have time, and occasionally I like a good scotch and a good cigar.
So it's clear to say that you are not a newcomer to the City of Cheney and very invested into the community. So thank you for your service, not only to this country, but to the City of Cheney.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So now most people who watch this program will know at least a little bit about Cheney, but for those that might be new to the area, could you give us a little overview of the city?
Absolutely. So Cheney's a thriving community. We have about a little over 12,400 full-time residents, 17 miles southwest of Spokane, and I have to add 12 of those miles are on I-90, so it's an easy commute to Spokane and other communities in the West Plains. Over the years, we've always maintained a small town atmosphere and a family-friendly environment. From students to young couples, young families, working professionals to retirees. There's a wide range of population demographics here in Cheney. Cheney was incorporated in 1883, and we have strong ties to agriculture, education, and the railway and the rail lines as well. There's an abundance of outdoor recreational opportunities here in Cheney. We're just a few miles from Turnbull National Wildlife Reserve, where there's unique wetlands, grasslands, and forests. You can walk through there. There's a driving tour there where you can see wildlife in their natural habitat. We're only minutes away from the Columbia Plateau Trail. You can walk, bike, or jog west to the through the Scablands, or even east through the canyons to Fish Lake Trail, or the Fish Lake. So there's a lot to do in Cheney outdoor recreation-wise. We are home to Eastern Washington University, as I said before, go Eags. Eastern's a comprehensive public university, well known throughout the state. Our Cheney School District serves kids from kindergarten through 12th grade, known for their academics and their sports programs. And I have to say their Cheney marching band's pretty impressive, and they're known statewide as well. So that's a little bit more about Cheney. Yeah.
Well, and a little factoid about the City of Cheney. When Spokane County was being first created, there was a debate about where the county seat should be. Right. And there was a conversation about the county seat being actually located in Cheney, and not the City of Spokane. Right. And so the compromise was the land grant-based school, Eastern Washington University, would be in Cheney, and the county seat would be in Spokane County. Right. So it's interesting how this all gets formulated together. So tell us a little bit about why would a family locate here in Cheney?
Sure, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. A little bit more, well, I mentioned a little bit, the outdoor recreational opportunities, a great school district, that family-friendly atmosphere and environment here in Cheney. But Cheney is a full-service city. And that's important. We provide our own power. We take care of our own garbage, recycling, water, sewer. We have our own fire department and police department, so our public safety needs are met right here in Cheney. The only resource that we receive outside of Cheney is through Avista natural gas. And again, for a family moving into a town that is a full service community, the people that work for the city, a lot of them live in Cheney, so they're providing a high level of service to the citizens and their neighbors. So that's a huge benefit for somebody that wishes to move to Cheney, full service. Our rates are, because of that, we have control over our rates, so they're relatively low compared to the surrounding communities. Our parks are easily accessible. We have several parks throughout the city, located throughout the city. We're one of very few communities that have an outdoor pool, and we're looking to expand that hopefully in the future. Cheney's a good walking town. Off the main road, traffic is generally light. And the way Cheney is laid out, one can walk from the southwest neighborhoods to the northeast shopping district in just about an hour if you walk through Eastern's campus. And Eastern's campus is a wonderful place to walk throughout any season. You can walk through there. There's for bicyclists as well. We don't have dedicated bike lanes, but the routes are easy through Cheney. Like I said, the traffic is generally light throughout the town. And if a bicyclist can just jump into the countryside, there's trails all the way through, or just jump on the Columbia Plateau Trail. Talking about moving around Cheney, Spokane Transit Authority has a very robust system here in Cheney. So it's not only is that a benefit to students commuting to Eastern, but it's also for working professionals that may work in Spokane or anywhere on the West Plains. It's very easy to move using public transit throughout the West Plains and Spokane. Again, a great place to live, but also to recreate and to educate. We have some great family restaurants, some small boutiques down in our historic downtown area, coffee and breakfast shops, several other amenities. But I tell people, just spend some time in Cheney. You'll start to feel how friendly, how convenient the city is, and how comfortable it is to live in Cheney.
I went to the University of Idaho when I was getting my college degrees, and Moscow, Idaho is very similar to Cheney, and there's always an energy about the community because of the university and the kids and everything. So I can appreciate the kind of excitement that would exist here in Cheney. So
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about why would a business be here?
Great question. So again, some of the things I already mentioned about it being a great community to live. A lot of business owners would want to live in the town that their business is in. Cheney has a nationally certified commerce and industrial park. And again, with low utilities right up to the curb. So it's truly a turnkey opportunity for businesses to come to Cheney. Excuse me. The workforce. We have highly educated college graduates right here in your backyard if you relocate a business to Cheney. But we're in a close proximity to the West Plains and Spokane, where the majority of the population is and the workforce is. So it's a benefit to have a business in a small town community, but have the availability of the workforce in the whole Spokane region. Also, a lot of businesses, relocating to a small town, you want to be close to the railways or the airport, and we're really just a 20-minute drive, if that, to Spokane International Airport, a quick drive to Spokane, a quick drive to the Air Force Base. So those are some benefits of having a business here in Cheney.
It's fairly common that knowledge about the water challenges on the West Plains. Talk a little bit about what you've done there.
Absolutely. So in the past, it's not that we don't have water. Our aquifer does have quite a bit of water that serves not just Cheney, but a lot of the region. It's a different aquifer, a different water source than Spokane. It was the capacity to meet the demands of the city during the summer months when it got hot, it stops raining, and everybody starts irrigating, particularly the heavy water users like the school district and our park system. Fortunately, we did receive some support through our 6th district legislators, Senator Holy, Congressman Bowles, and Congresswoman Jenny Graham really stepped up to the plate and helped us with some funds to help us re-drill well 3. Well 3 had been offline for a few years because it stopped producing. We re-drilled that earlier this summer, and it is producing a lot of water. So this was the first year in several years that we didn't have to restrict water usage in the city of Cheney. Now, that's a short-term solution to what I believe is a long-term issue. Long-term sustainable water is a potential issue here, not just here, but in the state of Washington. It also allowed us, with the capacity now to keep our reservoirs full during high demand, it also allowed us to be able to flush our water system. It's a very old water system. Our infrastructure is aging, and we've done a great job maintaining it over the years. The flushing system allows us to clean up some of the sediment that settles in the bottom of some of the piping throughout the city. We just recently finished that, which again, we hadn't been able to do that in decades. And we're going to also redo that flushing project in the spring as well.
So tell us a little bit about some of the projects that you're working on.
Sure. So to continue talking about water, one of our big projects going forward, it's a multi-year project, but like I said, re-drilling well 3 is a short-term solution to the water challenges that we had. I think of, what if my great-granddaughter wants to live in Cheney, and how is the city going to be able to sustain water, clean water for the long term? So one of our big projects going forward, and again, I have to thank our legislators for really helping us out and supporting us, is a water reuse project, meaning we have a wastewater treatment facility that right now treats about 1 million gallons or more, 1 million gallons of wastewater per day. We treat it and we push it into our wetlands. We recently received some money to upgrade that facility to a Class A facility, which means we could treat that water to another level, a higher level, a safer level, and pipe that through the city of Cheney to serve irrigation needs at the school district and the parks and even Eastern. That would take a huge strain off of our domestic water system. It would allow us not to pull as much water from the aquifer, which long-term could make it a sustainable water source. Again, that's a multi-year, multi-million-dollar project, but we're focused on keeping that project going forward. So that's one project we're working on.
So what are some of the other significant changes that you've seen in the city here?
Oh, good question. Well, calling Cheney my home for the last 40 years, I can tell you what hasn't changed. Cheney has, even though over the years it's grown, Eastern has grown, Cheney has maintained that small town feel, that small town atmosphere, family-friendly environment. What has changed with growth is traffic. We've seen a significant amount of traffic between Cheney and Four Lakes. It's a state route. And right now that road is over capacity. And I think as the West Plains overall grows and Cheney grows, that's a change that's happened in Cheney that we'll have to address in the future. Train traffic has exponentially increased over the years, which presents some challenges for us. But again, I go back to Cheney, the feel of Cheney hasn't changed. We are still a neighborly community, family friendly, and still a small town college feel.
So what are some of the current development projects that are going on here in Cheney?
Oh, good question. Again, to keep up with the growth of the West Plains, housing is going to be key going forward. We've just finished up a little over 50 houses. Well, they will be finished by the end of the year, most likely. Some multifamily housing units we're cleaning up. We have capacity in the future for some more projects for residential housing, both multifamily and single family. Eastern is building their science building, which is that's a big deal for the Eastern. That's a big deal for Cheney. So grocery outlet's going to open up here in a few weeks. So we've got some good projects coming into Cheney. We really want to invite more businesses into Cheney to fill up our industrial park. And
So what are some of the challenges that you see Cheney having to deal with or face here?
Again, water, that's always going to be a challenge, I think, just being good stewards of the water resource that we have. And I mentioned it before, but 904, that will continue to be a challenge as the West Plains grows and Cheney grows, meaning eventually, I believe, and I think a lot of people believe that road will need to be expanded, not only for safety, which is going to be, that's the number one reason, but also for economic development. Businesses will look at Cheney, it's a great place to put a business, but I don't want to get bogged down on that 5-mile stretch getting goods from here to the airport, right? So that'll be a challenge going forward. Growth management, again, I always talk about the West Plains growth because that's staring us right in the face and we have to be ready for it. Cheney wants to grow smartly, infill where we can, and our boundaries are such where we have capacity to grow, but I can see in the future the need for more local authority to grow within our boundaries and to expand where Cheney believes is the best for the citizens. So.
Well, you mentioned a little bit earlier about transportation, and again on 904, the traffic there, and both of us sit on the STA board, and of course STA several years ago instituted with the University of Washington as a partner the Eagle Pass program. Yes. So a significant amount of students that come from outside of the city of Cheney on STA's buses helps also reduce the traffic significantly. Absolutely. On 904 and stuff. So that's a nice plus. And I think with moving forward, you've also got some other newer routes inside the city as well, or expanded service within the city and stuff. So that's
very robust
as well.
Public transit. And I'm glad you brought that up because going forward, the Cheney High Performance Transit project that's coming up will definitely help with potentially some double-decker buses, or so that'll be neat.
So with all of the new growth that is happening with the Amazon and Mullen and a lot of the other industries that are coming to the West Plains, that's providing some positive growth for your community, would you say?
It is. We're not seeing it immediately, but we're getting a lot of people inquiring about relocating to Cheney. Where should I put a business? Again, I bring up our industrial park. We do have some empty commercial buildings that are available. So we're getting a lot of inquiries right now, and we just need to be ready for that growth.
So the let's talk a little bit about Eastern Washington's football team.
Sure,
I mean,
absolutely.
National champions here a couple years ago, and have got a good season going on from this year.
Absolutely, yeah. Last year, I went to the championship game again. Always excited to watch Eastern football, as well as the other sporting teams. I just watched the women's soccer team play yesterday. Well, recently for the Big Sky Championship. So they're going to go into they didn't win, but they're still going to go into the playoffs. Eastern has not just a great football program, but their women's and men's basketball program is fantastic. Their tennis, they've got several programs that are fun to watch, and I'm a huge Eastern fan, sports fan. So.
Well, and the other thing that you have every summer is the Cheney Parade and also the Cheney Rodeo and
Cheney
stuff.
Rodeo.
Talk a little bit about those.
We do. We look forward to bring to the Cheney Rodeo coming into town. It brings a lot of people into town to stay at the Holiday Inn and to eat at our establishments. Brings a lot of vibrancy, and downtown is exciting. Also, our Mayfest in May that brings a lot of vendors into town. It's a great opportunity for the community to get together and just enjoy Cheney. And this will be the second year that our Cheney Merchants Association is hosting what they're calling the Holiday Hoopla. It used to be called Winterfest. So the lighting of our Christmas tree downtown We bring Santa in, bring the fire truck downtown, and it's another opportunity, again, for the community to get together and
Right.
enjoy living here in this great city.
I remember having participated in a number of the parades out here and stuff. You also used to have a barbecue contest.
We
And-
did.
And so, you know, I'm a bigger man because of that. But it's a lot of great food and a lot of great folks, chefs that would come from
From all over.
all over.
Yeah.
I mean, Texas and California and
Yeah.
Kansas, and so they'd
Yeah, that
come
was-
here to compete and stuff. So that was
that and a big car show. We bring a car show
exactly.
downtown.
The car show is
Yep.
out, big feature out here as well. So, no, there's a lot of good energy out here and stuff.
A lot of excitement. A lot of
any-
young, vibrant energy here. too.
yeah, you got to love a college town.
Absolutely.
I mean,
yeah.
they just and the nice thing that Cheney has is that you're, what is it, about 8 minutes from here to the airport. So
well,
it's very close to, if you're traveling and stuff, very close to be able to get out of town and
It is,
visit
it
family
is.
and friends that haven't moved to Cheney yet.
That haven't moved to Cheney yet. That's right. Yes, very convenient. It's, I try to stay local as much as I can, but definitely have to go to Spokane and other areas to shop. So it's Cheney's very convenient. Cheney's a hidden gem. If you've never been to Cheney, I was talking to somebody in Spokane recently and was talking about being the mayor of Cheney, and he goes, "Wow, that's so far away." Like, you know, some people, the perception is that Cheney is halfway across the state, where in fact it's in Spokane's backyard.
So we're down to our last few minutes. Is
Sure.
there any last minute message that you'd like to share with our audience?
I'd like to say that Cheney is open for business. We're ready, and we have very competitive and flexible rates for lease or purchase of our land. And we'll work one-on-one with any business coming into town. Like I mentioned before, Cheney is a hidden gem. Just come out for a weekend and enjoy Cheney, and I think you'll get that feel.
Yeah.
So and I invite people to come visit us.
Yeah. Well, Mayor Grover, Chris, I've enjoyed our discussion, and I think our viewers have too.
I hope
so. But I'm afraid we're running out of time. So would like to thank you, Mayor of the City of Cheney, for joining us here on location. I'd also like to thank Eastern Washington University for hosting us today as well. It's a great facility. We're in the President's Box up here and stuff. So as a reminder, a video of today's Spotlight can be accessed on our Spokane County homepage and our Spokane County YouTube channel. You can also listen on the go and download our Spokane County Spotlights as a podcast on the SoundCloud or iTunes app. Just go to one of these apps and search for Spokane County. I'm County Commissioner Al French. Thank you for joining us today on Spokane County Spotlight.